What if I told you that the habits you practice every single day could be silently adding years to your appearance? You might think that aging is just a natural process, something that's inevitable. And sure, time is something we can't control, but the way we treat our bodies and our skin plays a massive role in how we age. In fact, some of the things you're doing right now could be accelerating the aging process without you even realizing it. Today, we're going to uncover the 7 habits that make you look older than you actually are, and more importantly, how to break them before it's too late. I want you to think about your daily routine. What's the first thing you do in the morning? If you're like most people, you probably start your day with a cup of coffee, a quick shower, and maybe a glance in the mirror. But how many of you are stopping to really look at your skin? Are you paying attention to the little things that, over time, add up to big changes in your appearance? The truth is, you don't have to wait until you start seeing wrinkles to make a change. Small daily habits can either accelerate or slow down the aging process. And today, I'm going to share with you the 7 most common ones that age you prematurely. Let's start with something that seems so simple, yet we often overlook it. Sunscreen. Think about it. How often do you actually use sunscreen? I know it seems like a hassle. Maybe you think it's only important in the summer or when you're at the beach. But what if I told you that every single day, whether it's cloudy or sunny, UV rays are silently damaging your skin? I remember a time in my life when I thought sunscreen was just for beach vacations. I never really cared about it on regular days. But over time, I started noticing some dark spots on my face, fine lines around my eyes, and a general dullness to my complexion. That's when I learned the hard way that sunscreen isn't just an option. It's a must. Even a few minutes of sun exposure can wreak havoc on your skin. The UV rays break down the collagen and elastin that keep your skin firm and youthful. The results, wrinkles, sagging, and spots. And those effects don't just show up overnight. They accumulate over time, quietly aging you faster than you realize. The trick to breaking this habit is simple. Make sunscreen a part of your daily routine. Every single morning, even if you're just running errands or sitting indoors. It's the easiest step you can take to protect your skin from premature aging. Another sneaky aging habit that most of us don't even think about is poor posture. You may not realize it, but your posture can have a massive impact on how you look. Think about the last time you caught a glimpse of yourself in the mirror when you were hunched over or slouched on the couch. What did you see? Maybe you didn't notice it, but your posture can make you look older, not just because of how it affects your spine, but because it gives off a tired, worn-out appearance. I'll admit, I used to be terrible at keeping my posture in check, especially when I was working long hours at a desk. I would slouch for hours not thinking about how it might affect me later, but over time my back started aching, and I began to notice that my whole body felt stiffer. When I looked in the mirror, I saw an older version of myself, someone who didn't take care of their body. If you want to break this habit, it starts with awareness. Check in with yourself throughout the day. Stand tall with your shoulders back, chest open, and spine aligned. Even when you're sitting, make sure you're supporting your back, keeping your feet flat on the ground. Trust me, paying attention to your posture doesn't just improve how you look. It'll also make you feel more confident, and that energy radiates outward. Speaking of habits that seem harmless, let's talk about sugar. Sugar, the sweet temptation we all love to indulge in. I know how hard it is to resist that afternoon snack or dessert after dinner, but here's the thing. Sugar isn't just about packing on the pounds, it's also speeding up the aging process. When you eat sugar, it enters your bloodstream and binds to proteins like collagen, which are responsible for your skin's elasticity and firmness. This process is called glycation, and over time, it causes your skin to lose its youthful bounce. I remember when I first learned about glycation, I was shocked. I had no idea that my sweet tooth could be doing so much damage. But once I started cutting back on sugar, I saw a difference. Not just in my skin, but in my overall energy levels. You don't have to cut sugar out entirely, but try to reduce your intake, especially refined sugars that come from processed foods. Opt for natural sweeteners, or better yet, try satisfying your sweet cravings with fruits. It's a small change that can make a big difference in how you look and feel. If there's one thing we all need more of, it's sleep. How many of you can honestly say you're getting enough rest every night? If you're like most people, you're probably running on little sleep, trying to juggle work, social life, and everything in between. I used to be the same way. There was a time when I'd stay up late working or binge watching my favorite shows, thinking that I could catch up on sleep later. But as I got older, I started noticing the effects. My skin looked tired, with bags under my eyes and a dullness that I couldn't shake off. I felt sluggish and couldn't focus the way I used to. The truth is, sleep is when your body heals itself, including your skin. While you're sleeping, your body is working to repair damage from the day, producing new cells and restoring your energy levels. If you don't get enough sleep, all of that gets compromised. I made it a priority to get 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night, and the difference was incredible. My skin became brighter, my energy increased, and my mood improved. If you're struggling with sleep, try turning off electronics an hour before bed, creating a calming nighttime routine, and making sure your bedroom is dark and cool. Trust me, your body will thank you. Now let's talk about hydration. How often do you really think about how much water you're drinking throughout the day? Most people underestimate how important hydration is for their skin. Our skin is made up of around 64% water, so if you're not drinking enough, it's going to show. I used to drink coffee and sugary drinks all day, thinking that they would keep me hydrated. But in reality, I was dehydrating myself without even realizing it. As a result, my skin started to look dry and flaky, and I began noticing more fine lines. Once I started drinking more water, aiming for at least 8 glasses a day, my skin started to look plump and radiant again. Hydration is key not just for your skin, but for your overall health. If you're struggling to get enough water, try carrying a bottle with you at all times. And if plain water bores you, add some lemon or cucumber for a refreshing twist. Let's not forget the impact stress has on our appearance. I know we've all heard it before. Stress is bad for you, but did you know it can actually age you? When you're stressed, your body releases a hormone called cortisol, and too much of it can break down collagen, lead to inflammation, and cause wrinkles. I used to let stress control my life. Between work pressures and personal challenges, I was constantly on edge. It was only when I realized how it was affecting my skin and overall well-being that I started making changes. Meditation, yoga, and simple breathing exercises became part of my routine. They helped me manage stress and improve my skin's appearance. I'm not saying you need to eliminate stress entirely, but learning how to manage it effectively can prevent it from taking a toll on your health and appearance. Finally, one of the most important habits to break is the sedentary lifestyle. We live in a world where sitting is the new smoking, and we're paying the price. Sitting for long periods causes poor circulation, which means your skin isn't getting the oxygen and nutrients it needs to stay youthful. It also contributes to muscle atrophy, which leads to sagging and a loss of tone in your body. I remember a time when I was working from home, and I barely moved all day. It was easy to get stuck in a routine of sitting and working, but my body felt sluggish, and my skin looked tired. The solution? Get moving. Whether it's a short walk around the block, a quick workout, or just stretching throughout the day, keeping your body active helps maintain youthful energy and vitality. By now, you're probably realizing that some of these habits are things you might be guilty of. But here's the good news. It's never too late to change. The power is in your hands to slow down the aging process and take better care of your skin, body, and mind. The key is consistency. If you start incorporating just 1 or 2 of these changes into your daily routine, you'll start noticing the difference, inside and out. It's all about making small, sustainable adjustments that add up over time. So let's start today. Break those aging habits.